I never imagined I'd betray my son. Not like this. But some temptations, some desires, are too powerful to resist. My son James, just 22, brought Emma into our lives one crisp autumn evening. She was 27, radiant, and unlike anyone I had ever met. Her long golden hair framed a face that seemed to hide 1,000 stories. Tattoos peeked out from under her sleeves, and those piercing green eyes, they captured you, made you feel like she saw every truth you wanted to keep hidden. It started with curiosity. Why was someone so vibrant, so worldly, with my son? James was a good kid, but immature, naive in ways that Emma wasn't. The more I watched her, the more I felt this growing ache inside me. It was wrong, but it was there, a pull I couldn't deny. One night, I found her in the kitchen. She was leaning against the counter, her hair glowing under the soft light. She looked up as I entered, her lips curving into a faint smile. I should have turned back, but instead, I walked in. We talked about nothing and everything. Her laugh was soft, and her voice, so close, felt like it was wrapping around me. And then it happened. I leaned in, my resolve crumbling. When our lips met, it was electric. A spark I hadn't felt in years. I didn't sleep that night. The guilt gnawed at me, but so did something else, desire. I told myself it was a mistake, a moment of weakness. But the next day, when I saw her, the look in her eyes told me it wasn't over. We didn't mean for it to continue. At least, that's what I told myself. But every stolen moment only deepened the connection. I knew I was crossing a line that could shatter my family. And yet, I couldn't stop. I remember watching them together at the park. James held her hand, so proud to be with her. But my eyes betrayed me, lingering on the curve of her neck as the sunlight danced on her skin. Every moment with her felt like a stolen secret, something intoxicatingly forbidden. It was a cold evening. Emma sat close to the fire, her legs curled under her, a glass of wine in her hand. The way the flames reflected in her eyes, it was mesmerizing. We talked for hours that night, about her dreams, her fears. And when she placed her hand on mine, I didn't pull away. I found myself taking long drives at night, trying to escape the guilt. But no matter how far I drove, it always caught up with me. The image of Emma, the feel of her lips, the way she whispered my name, it haunted me. We became reckless. Every glance, every accidental brush of her hand against mine felt like fire. It wasn't just desire anymore, it was something deeper, something neither of us could control. I stood at the window one afternoon, watching her with James. She laughed as he told her some story, her head tilting back, her hair catching the light. I should have felt happy for him, proud even. But all I felt was envy, and guilt. We told ourselves it was innocent, a drive to clear our heads. But when we arrived at that secluded cabin, it was anything but. Every touch, every kiss, every whispered confession felt like stepping further into the abyss. I should have stopped her, but I didn't want to. There was music playing softly. She moved closer, her hand resting on my shoulder. We danced, slowly, every step pulling me deeper into a world I couldn't escape. Her lips brushed my neck, and I knew there was no turning back. I knew it couldn't last. Secrets like this never stay hidden. And when James found out, it destroyed everything. The look on his face, I'll never forget it. The pain, the betrayal. He didn't need to say anything. His silence spoke louder than any words could. In that moment, I realized the depth of my selfishness. James left that day. He moved out, and he never looked back. I tried to reach out, to apologize, but he wouldn't hear it. I don't blame him. I destroyed the trust between us, shattered the bond we once had. Months later, he sent me an email. A few lines, formal and distant. It was his way of saying goodbye. That was the last I heard from him. Emma stayed with him. Somehow, he forgave her. But me? I became a ghost in his life, a name he refuses to speak. I've lost him forever. Some desires consume you, leaving nothing but ashes in their wake. I thought I was gaining something, a spark, a fleeting moment of happiness. But all I've done is lose. Lose my son. Lose my family. Lose myself. Now, all I have left is silence and regret.